Okay, at this final stage, and the calls end a friend's 45 minutes spent on each candidate. There are two principal reasons for this feeling. One is the interview. A candidate puts the interviewer in a flattering position of power. And the other is that there are no objective standard for assessing the effectiveness or otherwise of the choice made a few days in advance of the interview the panel should have been set. The first one is the job description. The second is the person specification, and the third is condition of service, and the fourth is application, and the last is if possible reference talk that can be taken up later.
Okay, I would like to talk about chairing. The chairperson role is crucial. A chairperson not only has to guide and control the panels and plan an approach to the form of questioning and making of assessment, but must also welcome and set the candidates at ease before starting the interviews. The chairperson will discuss with other panel members the qualities to be looked for. There are different ways of organizing a panel interviews, but a free for all. Each member of the panel asks questions on any subject, may be repetitive and confusing the candidates. Works for a panel that knows each other well. Second, area distribution. Each panel member is responsible for asking questions about a specific area. This format is more structured and ensure all important areas are covered. Okay, next I will talk about the stage of an interview. Any interview can be seen as progression through several stages. Through in a good interview, the flow is such that the change of emphasis are not overly marked. The stage are the first, the introductions. It is also helpful at this introductory stage to have some blends, general remarks to settle the candidates down, provide a pause this to not go on too long. Second, explanation. Candidates need to know that they will have a chance to ask questions at a certain stage. Third, inviting questions from the candidate. It is also helpful to ask at this stage if the candidate feels that there is any relevant areas that has not been covered. And the last, the conclusion. It is important to make sure that the candidates know when and how they will hear and result of the interview, and this should compose the bulk of this section.
Now, we move to the questionnaire techniques. In the questionnaire technique, there are aims of the interview. The first is to enable an exchange of information to take place. Then, to assess the candidate's qualities and relationship to the job. And the last is to enable candidates to feel they have been given a fair chance. Interviewers need to listen creatively and critically, directing questions from the general to specific to achieve the interview's objectives. Open questions like who, what, why, how allow a rare response on the candidate part. Then clarifying questions such as, I'm not clear about that, or could you explain a little more detail? And then extending questions like, could you tell me a bit more about that? Or could you explain on that? Serve similar functions. In contrast, the following type of questions, unless followed by open questions like why, do not reveal much about the candidate and then to close the interview down. Interviews are just about Q&A. Non-verbal cues matter to interviews should listen attentively, show interest, stay composed, evaluate information against job criteria, and avoid the hello effect.
The induction of new employees. The concept at this stage is to give an introduction not so much to the job as to the school and the procedures used, which will enable the newcomer to be an effective member of staff as quickly as possible. A walk around the school and an introduction to as many staff as possible will undoubtedly be followed by a visit to the personnel department for registration, letter of appointment, salary, and bank details etc. Many organizations find this good practice and many to have a staff induction manual of some kind wherein the following sorts of topics can be covered. The first, welcome letter from the principal. Second, brief history of the institution. Third, status of the institution if applicable. The next, organizational structure, staff names and position held, department areas of responsibility, working conditions, details on holidays, sick leave, maternity leave, etc., recreational and welfare facilities available, staff appraisal system, details of any probationary period, where to find details of administrative procedures.
Good morning. Thank you for your coming today. Let's begin by discussing your background and experience in education. Could you please provide an overview of your previous teaching roles and any relevant qualifications you hold?
Yeah, good morning. I have been working as a high school English teacher for the past 5 years. I hold a bachelor degree in English literature and teaching certification.
That sounds like valuable experience. Could you elaborate on your teaching methods and philosophy? What approach do you typically use in the classroom to engage students and promote learning?
Yeah, of course. I believe in creating a student-centered learning environment where students are actively involved in the learning process. I often incorporate interactive activities, group discuss, and multimedia resources to cater to different learning styles and foster critical thinking skills.
That's commendable. In your opinion, what do you consider to be the biggest challenge facing educators today, and how do you propose to address it in your role as a teacher?
Of course, I believe one of the biggest challenges is adapting to the evolving needs of students in rapidly changing world. To address this, I continuously seek professional development opportunities to stay updated on best practice and innovative teaching strategies. Additionally, I prioritize building strong relationship with my students to better understand their individual needs and provide personalized support.
Thank you for sharing that example. It demonstrates your ability to adapt and problem solve in challenging situations. Overall, your experience and approach align well with our institution's values and educational philosophy. We will be in touch regarding the next steps in the hiring process. Thank you for your time today.
Okay, thank you, sir, for the opportunity to discuss my qualification. I look forward to the possibility of joining your team. Have a great day, sir.
Oh, you know